Good morning from KWBE, and welcome to our Ask the Mayor program. Every Thursday morning, we take a little time out of our schedule to talk about city issues and city government as we welcome in Beatrice Mayor Bob Morgan. Good morning, Mayor. How are you today, sir?
Dave, good morning. Another, if being on the radio brings this nice weather, I better keep doing it for quite some time.
You need to come in every day. Yeah, this is, I was thinking this morning, here we are past the midpoint of October, and we're just talking warm temps.
I know.
Crazy.
Things that I actually, as I was going for a walk today, and a couple people in the neighborhood were walking, and we had jackets on, and we said, had this been December, we wouldn't even have a jacket on.
And the thing is, about this time, maybe we've seen a frost or two, but there's no chilly temps in the forecast.
There is not.
So I guess we just go with the flow. And
absolutely.
I know the street department, I see they're doing a few projects here and there. That's keeping things going, isn't it? No doubt about it.
Oh, it sure does. It's easier to crack seal and fill in things right now. And, it gets a lot of work done that maybe the weather would have put an end to it. So that's good. I mean, the thing that people may or may not realize is that once we start ending all of those things, though, it will be time for all those guys to go in and service the trucks and get the plows ready and figure out how to put the sand and the gravel and all those things that they have to put together so they're ready to roll again. So, this nice weather gives them the opportunity to extend their work a little longer, but if cold weather comes around, they're going to be scurrying to get everything else ready to go. So they definitely be working through all of this.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep watching the weather, but for now, I think it's going to be pretty mild for us here.
Yep.
Before we get into a couple of topics this morning, we do want to say congratulations to our Beatrice High School softball team. They are representing the community well, aren't they?
They really are. I guess they had 2 wins yesterday. One seemed to be pretty handily, and I think one was pretty close. Maybe not close at the beginning, and some, I figured they had it in the bag, so I went on to another project, and I looked this morning, it was a 10-9, but that's good for them. They are moving right along in state, and, they're looking for that repeat, which they've got a great team, they got a great attitude, and they're representing us very well.
Puts us on the map, doesn't it? Because it puts Beatrice out there in the spotlight for a little bit, doesn't it?
It does. It really does.
And we say congratulations to them. And, of course, if you've ever been to Hannibal Park on a summer weekend, softball is huge for this community.
It is.
Brings in a lot of people, doesn't it?
I think across the state, softball. I think, again, it's one of those things that whether it's adult or youth, you have that opportunity to play a long time. So, it's one of those sports that you can play as an adult for a number of years until you finally realize the body says no.
And that's when you play pickleball.
Apparently so.
Again, congratulations to the Beatrice Lady O, and we'll certainly be looking forward to later this afternoon when they play again at the state tournament. Well, we have talked before in the past about a little bit about the water park, encouraging folks to let us know what they would like to see in a new water park for Beatrice. You do have another open house on the schedule. Folks can come out to the Beatrice Public Library next Wednesday, can't they?
Absolutely. I think it's 4 to 6 again. Mm-hmm. We certainly want your input. If you didn't make it to the first open house and you haven't made it to our website, I think I checked just yesterday at the top. There's a link to that same survey on what you'd like to see at the new water park. Probably the question in some people's minds are, well, when's that going to happen? And the first step is to do a master plan to figure out where we're at. I don't anticipate probably seeing a new water park for, probably till 2030, 2031, but those times happen fast. And one of the things that I've said before on the radio, and it still holds true, not only do you get to go through the process of doing a master study plan, then there's the design phase, and then any type of construction project that you do takes a considerable amount of time by the time you have the consultants involved, the contractors involved, the architects involved, meet all the specs of the concrete and the settling and those type of things. It takes some time. So you're probably looking somewhere between 29 and 31 to see a water park, a new water park. And I know some people still refer to this one as the new water park. But yes, a water park that will have features that you wouldn't have seen maybe 25 years ago.
Things have changed over time, with water parks, and I know we have touched on that in the past, the different features that parks have and such, and so it's just an opportunity to look and say, hey, should we add this?
Right.
Should we add that? Should we do this, do that? So this good chance just to kind of plan ahead here.
It really is, and like with all the open houses, as you plan ahead, I know it happens all the time. People either don't know about the open house, they don't make it to the open house, and then 2 years later they're going, oh, well, why didn't we do this and why did we do that? And some of those would be good ideas, so I would just urge people to come to the library on Wednesday.
Will this be the last open house? I mean, probably, because you've had one now, and then you got this one. You think this could be it then, or?
This will be the last open house for what I call the design, the concept phase, and then they will work on a concept. And my guess would be when they get done with the concept and put up the drawing boards and those type of things, there'll be another public, probably another opportunity for the public to look and see what they've come up with.
Is there something you, as the mayor, would like to see in a new water park, or when you compare it to other parks around the state, or?
Wow, I'm not. I don't go to a lot of swimming pools.
Okay.
At 68 years old, even with the grandkids, we take them down to the lake, we take them fishing, but we don't go to a lot of. But I think you look at things like some type of lazy river that floats through it. I think you have to build a water park that takes in all ages. From a 1-year-old all the way up to the folks that enjoy swimming when they're because swimming is a great way to stay in shape.
Sure.
So I should probably do more of that.
So should I.
And I think there's just going to be a lot of features that you just got to figure out what can you afford to put into the pool, keeping sure that it really is accommodating for everyone that's going to use it.
And if you can't make it to the open house, like you said, there is that link, so folks can still voice their thoughts and share their thoughts through that link too.
That is correct, yes.
I think I've asked you this before. Are you looking at putting a new water park where the old one is at now, or are we maybe looking at a different location, or is this too early to even talk about that?
I think both are options. One of the things about putting it close to where we own the land. Land is one of those things that are one of the price points that you have to consider. But I do think that the concept will come first and the size, and then we'll figure out how that fits into locations.
In the meantime, our present water park is fine.
It's absolutely good. I should say one of the first things that the consultants do is they came in and, number one, they evaluated our pool, I think 2 or 3 times. The first one is right after we opened, and they checked for leakage, they checked for the valves, they checked for all those type of things. The second time was when the pool was heavily used on a hot day, so they could see how the pool works and interacts. And then the third time was kind of just a last check again. And so, the pool itself and all the mechanics are in good shape. But like we've said before, you have to plan for the future, because we know another 5 years or another 6 years on that pool is certainly going to add wear and tear. Things only last so long.
Right. And it gets a lot of usage during the summer.
It does get a lot of use in the summer, and we're very, very glad of that. And really, when you think about it, a lot of communities that have redone pools use that as an economic driver, because there are people who will travel from a considerable distance to go to the water parks in a lot of communities. And so there is an economic development piece that we can't overlook that brings business for our business owners into the community because of the pool.
Again, it's Wednesday, the next open house at the Beatrice Public Library, and that'll be again from 4 to 6. Come on out and just share your thoughts.
Correct.
All right. Before we take a break here, actually, we'll take a break and we'll come back. We've got a question on a street here in town. Listener is just kind of curious about, and then we'll also talk a little bit about how those new housing developments are coming along.
Okay.
That's coming up. We're back on the program here at KWBE. If you have a question for the mayor, you can call us at 402-228-5923. Righty, we'll jot that down and pass it along to us here in the studios. 5923, our number. Okay, do have a question here, Mayor. Just had a question. Listener was just curious on North 26th Street. That's the one that's just located to the east of Hannibal Park. There's a portion of that street that used to be kind of gravel. Right. City did a little blacktopping on it, or did a little black.
We did.
To keep that. I guess the person's wondering, is that ever going to be turned into an official concrete street or whatever, since that is going into that new housing development in that area?
Well, I'm sure it's on at least the consideration of our streets department for that. There's a lot that goes into the street because, if I'm not mistaken, that probably doesn't have curb and gutter. The hard part is when you go in to put a street, the first thing you have to think about is how much right-of-way are you going to assume, which also then takes people's yards out because you got to put in curb and gutter and make it the same length. So I think, what we did is we hopefully just improved the street at this point in time until we can figure out exactly what ramifications would be to put in a concrete street. And then once we would figure out if that's the route to go, we need to incorporate that into our 1 and 6 street plan in order to make sure that it's done right and make sure that we can afford to do it at that point in time.
Okay. Traffic count, is that a pretty heavily traveled street, since that is kind of now going in connected to that new development there? Do you know? Or
I don't know the answer to. I don't know if there's really been a traffic study there.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those things that certainly is under investigation and certainly would have an impact on city right-of-way into people's properties that we have to consider as well.
Do we have a lot of streets that are kind of like that are just gravel or kind of lightly blacktop?
There are a number of gravel streets, and typically, in a lot of cases where those gravel streets have been there for a while and there's houses that go along it, first of all, I think they have to form what's called a paving district.
Okay.
The paving district has to be approved by all of the homeowners, and then if that block's going to be paid, typically that's one of the things that homeowners participate in paying for the concrete street.
Gotcha.
So we do have to be careful and make sure that we do this the right way and make sure we're not paving something where somebody else doesn't get theirs paved, and we have to do it the right way.
Gotcha. Okay. Speaking of housing developments, let's talk about the 2 new developments. We've chatted about this on various other programs about the progress. Boy, they are, with the nice weather, they are moving along, aren't they? Wow.
They are. We end up getting just a little bit of rain that might slow them down a little bit, but I think they've poured a lot of concrete at Corral Crossing. I know they've done that. In Heritage Heights, I know they've connected the sanitary sewer and got 19th Street back open, and they're moving a lot of dirt there. We hope that they get to the point where our water guys can come in and do the water mains. And, one of the things that both places will need to have happen is they'll need to, get all the lots plotted and the pins down so that we can, prepare for the sale of those lots.
They're working on weekends too. I mean, they're taking advantage. I'll hear them on a weekend working away, and they're taking advantage of the weather, aren't they?
They are. Just some statistics, and I think we've probably shared these before, but it's always good to remind. In Heritage Heights, we're going to have 20 new living units or 20 lots to sell, and in Corral Crossing, a couple of those are set up for townhomes, and those townhomes plus the lots will come up to about 28 living units. So, that'll be, do rough math, that's pretty close to 50 lots available, and, somebody asked at the Board of Public Works meeting, when will we know what the price is and how you'll sell those? And, they don't have the pins in the ground that show you where the lot lines are, so that has to happen. Like I said, we'll have to actually plat each lot to the size, and then we got to figure out the total cost of what we have in the project as a development, and then turn that around. So I think by January to April, somewhere in there, we'll have a pretty good idea of what those lots will be selling for.
Want to make a prediction when the first house is going up, or what do you think?
Oh.
What do you think, Mayor?
Wow. I would like to see a new house started going up in the summer of 26.
Yeah.
Yeah. One or two.
Sure.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I think you'll have, as with all developments, you'll have some interest in what people want for their lot. There's always the conversation of what's the best lot and what's not the best lot.
Yeah.
And it really depends on what you're looking for in a new lot. And so I know there's been a number of people that have asked me some questions about it, so I know there's interest. And so I'm hoping that, by May, June, a couple lots will be sold and groundbreaking will happen.
We'll see. All righty. And as you did say, 19th Street is back open. They were able to get that back open after, about a week or 2 weeks?
It's about a week,
About a week, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, right, roughly right in there. We're moving right along. And, if you ask what's happening the other thing will happen with Corral Crossing, once it's all done, we'll also go in and overseed it. So there'll be green space in there instead of just dirt. But then again, like I said, there'll be lot lines that have been drawn out, and we will progress into the sales part.
We'll continue to keep updated and watch the progress of those two areas.
Correct.
Again, it's pretty neat just to drive by. You drive by one day, and about maybe 2 days later, you drive by, and you can see a difference. You can see a difference.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it. Before we take a break, I do want to remind folks that we are working our way through the second part of October, and our grass pickup here in the city is going to be wrapping up, isn't it?
Correct. I believe that's from April 1st to October 31st. So grass clippings that they pick up on Mondays is coming to an end. I'm sure we also need to be aware of the hours of the place where you can drop your grass and leaves and those type of things, because it will change a little bit as we get to November. And, when we get to November, there'll be a daylight savings time change. So daylight at night is going to be sparse. And so that will also change kind of the hours out there. And again, probably by December, that area will be closed, and we won't open again until March.
Okay. Again, October 31st will be the end of the pickup, but again, we can still take our clippings out to the site.
Yep.
Speaking of the site, how's everything in the new the landfill? How's that coming along?
Progressing quite well. Again, weather has not been our friend out there, but we're still hoping that the middle part of November we will be able to start transitioning from the north side of the road to the south side of the road. And I drove out there the other day, and it looks like the building is coming along pretty nicely. And I think it'll be, as great of a landfill as you can imagine. As landfills are landfills. They serve a purpose. They're kind of like putting in some of the things you have to have in your home to make things work. And I think it's really good, though, because that first cell will be up and open. That first cell should last us 10 or 12 years. And before that's done, we'll dig the second cell. And so with 7 cells out there, you've got at least 70 years of places to put your trash.
And the building is, what's all going to be in the building?
Well, the building, of course, will be probably, will be large enough for some equipment, but also it will be our scale house. So there'll be an in scale and an out scale, and it'll be like the ones that we have out at the dump right now. If you've been out to the landfill that's operating, we do have one there as well, which, we've got some great employees out there that keep things running, and some of them have been there for a while, and we really appreciate their expertise.
Long time employees there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's take a short break. We do have a question that's been called in. We'll pass it along to the mayor next here on KWB. It's 8:54 at KWBE. Just a few minutes left in our program. Ask the Mayor comes your way every Thursday at this time. Beatrice Mayor Bob Morgan with us this morning. Did have a question just called into us. Listener is asking, Mayor, is there any laws on the motorized scooters that people are starting to see on the streets? Do we have any laws here in Beatrice that we need to be aware of?
Motorized scooters, I'm assuming they're talking about the one that looks like, now this is a terrible way to describe it, but a skateboard with the handle on it.
With the handle on it. That's a good way to describe it. I'd say that's good.
I that's how I look at it. And at this point in time, I'm not sure there's any rules or regulations on those, along with things like e-bikes. I don't believe there's, you still have to make sure that the rules of the road still apply. But it's not like a mini bike, and it's not like a motorcycle. It's probably in a class to itself that really hasn't. It's grown in interest, and I don't think there's anything that's really been studied on that yet.
Okay. I don't know if this person I don't know if they're concerned or what. They were just wondering if there was any laws or not. I know some of the bigger cities, you go to Lincoln and such, you see those around, don't you?
You do. You actually have them that you can rent, and I'm not sure how that all works, but it's all GPS controlled. But these are, I think, I've seen a number of I would say younger teenagers that I've seen on those. Haven't seen a lot of them, but it is something that will hopefully be under consideration. It's really kind of strange. A lot of times, most of those laws come from the state, and that we enforce them. But I think we have to look at what our responsibility is as well. So it's one of those things that we can put on our study list.
Okay. All right. We thank the caller for that question. We hope that kind of helps you there with your thoughts or concerns. As we get ready to wrap things up, again, just mention that downtown Beatrice still looking pretty good with the 5th Street all completed, and the 4th Street really spruced things up, didn't it, with the look?
It did, but I also have to say thank you to a number of business owners that are in downtown that have applied and over the years put together on our downtown revitalization grants. We've been very fortunate. I know there's a number of store owners that are working through our 2025 downtown revitalization grant, which was about $435,000. And so, as you look at downtown, you can certainly see the buildings that have been able to leverage using those downtown revitalization grants to really enhance their buildings as they go down that downtown. And so, it's always good to recognize that there is work being done by the owners, and certainly we appreciate everything that's being done.
Those some of those buildings are pretty have some age to them, don't they?
Well, they do. They do. They have some age and they have some history.
And have some history. Big,
right.
Yes.
Right. So you've got both of those things combined, and eventually we hope the raise grant that the government has given us. I shouldn't say hope. We've been assured that we have the raise grant. We haven't seen the contract. That's one of the things that took about. Now it's a little bit over a year to have the government get to us, and I'm sure with the shutdown we're not going to see it for another couple of weeks, but we will be continuing to move forward on that.
Mm-hmm. I know it seems like, every now and then you'll see some sort of, cherry picker or something downtown, that they're working on, doing some windows or doing something on the outside of some building.
All right.
You see that every now and then, don't you?
We do. And we also know that they're moving forward and doing a pretty good job on the paddock Kensington. I'm not sure what the proper name will be when they're done. But again, that building has really making some good progress. And I know sometimes you do see a crane there that interferes with traffic. But that's kind of unfortunately one of the pains that you have as you redo a building in downtown.
I was going to say, has that caused much confusion or trouble? It doesn't seem like it. They kind of closed that one lane there, for a day or two. It doesn't seem like it's causing too much trouble.
It hasn't been a lot of trouble. I mean, it's always an inconvenience.
Sure.
But I think, they were very optimistic on the number of times they thought they'd have to, close the highway.
Yeah.
But sometimes plans and what you need to use a crane for doesn't quite always jive to what you originally thought. So things are progressing there. I don't know exactly what the timeline to finish that is, but it will be a pretty awesome remodel when it's done.
It will, anxious to see when that is all completed, because that's going to be a beautiful addition to that area.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's going to look good. All right, we're down to our final minute. Again, we want to remind folks, if you have any comments or want to share your thoughts on a new water park for Beatrice, again, that open house is coming up on Wednesday at the Beatrice Public Library. That'll be on the 22nd from 4 to 6. Correct, Mayor?
That is correct.
And again, if you can't make it, you said there is a link to...
right at the top of the page, you'll see a banner. And you press on that banner, and it'll take you right to the pool survey.
Okay. Anything else? Final thoughts before we wrap it up here, sir?
Nope. We wish Lady O the best of luck as they move through the state tournament, and we'll continue to enjoy the nice days.
We will continue, yes. This weather, who would have thought? I guess Who would have thought? But we'll take it.
Absolutely.
We'll take it and we'll enjoy it. We'll
Absolutely.
take the dogs out for walks and all of that and enjoy the weather. So
Correct.
Mayor, thanks. We'll visit with you again next week.
All right. Have a good day.
Beatrice Mayor Bob Morgan with us here on KWBE Beatrice. It's 9 o'clock.